Have you ever wondered where a person's true value lies? Is it in the Rolex on their wrist or in the dirt-stained hands ready to reach out when you fall? Eleanor Thorne, the real estate queen of Chicago, always believed that money could buy anything. Until one fateful afternoon, she lay collapsed on a sun-drenched Michigan avenue, blood staining her expensive designer dress. Hundreds of people passed by. Dozens of phones were held up to film, but not a single soul stopped. Just as her consciousness began to fade, a gravelly voice rang out. "Don't worry, I've got you." It wasn't a polished gentleman. It was Jack, a struggling construction worker, just stepping off the job site. And that was the moment that changed both of their lives forever. A rogue Harley-Davidson turned a routine walk into a living nightmare. Eleanor was thrown like a rag doll. Jack, who was carrying heavy steel rebar on his shoulders at the time, didn't hesitate for a second. He dropped his gear, ignored the shouts of his greedy foreman, and dove into the chaotic traffic. The hospital was 2 blocks away, but ambulances were paralyzed in rush-hour gridlock. Jack performed what the Chicago press would later call the miracle on the street. He scooped up the stranger and ran like a madman through the crowd. Sweat mixed with cement dust poured down his face, but his arms held her tight, as if she were his only living kin. Jack left the hospital the moment the doctor said she was stable. He quietly slipped back to his dilapidated apartment on the south side, where Sarah, his little sister, was waiting for him in her weathered wheelchair. Few knew that every cent of Jack's meager wages went into a glass jar labeled Sarah's legs. An accident years ago had stolen her ability to walk, and Jack was her only hope. That night, Jack sat in the dark, nibbling on a dry crust of bread, his heart aching. He had been docked his entire day's pay for leaving the site. He didn't regret saving a life, but it hurt to know that the glass jar would stay empty just a little while longer. Eleanor Thorne was not a woman who forgot a debt. As soon as she woke up, she demanded her assistants find the man with the resolute eyes. But Jack had left no name. The only clue was a smudge of wet cement on the coat she wore that day. When Eleanor finally stepped into the impoverished neighborhood where Jack lived, she froze. Through a narrow window, she saw Jack kneeling on the floor, patiently massaging his sister's withered legs. He was telling jokes, desperately hiding his exhaustion after a 12-hour shift. Eleanor realized then that this man had saved her, even though he was the one who needed saving most. One Monday morning, the lives of Jack and Sarah took a turn they never saw coming. It wasn't $1 million check handed over in a cold office, but a team of the best medical specialists in Illinois appearing at their doorstep. "Mrs. Eleanor Thorne sends her regards, Jack," the doctor smiled. "And she wants to make sure your sister walks on her own 2 feet again." Jack stood there, his calloused hands trembling uncontrollably. He watched as Eleanor stepped out of a sleek limousine. She was no longer the arrogant billionaire. She was simply a woman who had rediscovered her faith in humanity, through one man's selfless act. A year later, Sarah was walking across green grass on her own. Jack is now a project director for the Thorne Group, building homes for people who were once in his shoes. This story isn't just about paying someone back. It's a reminder for all of us. Sometimes, a small act of kindness you give today is the seed for a forest of happiness you'll receive tomorrow. Don't wait until you're rich to help others, because kindness, much like love, is the only thing that grows the more you give it away. Thank you for listening. If this touched your heart, share it to keep the kindness moving.